Captain Planet and the Planeteers, issue number 3. Yeah, I'm still going to talk about this book, I think. There's something to say about Captain Planet in the year 2025. I don't know if this book is doing it. I guess it's more just classic Captain Planet stuff than having something to say about today. It wants to. There's like one sequence in particular that invokes like today's climate issues, but that's kind of it. You know, maybe it's my fault for wanting more from this book. I don't know. We'll see what happens. I'm still mixed on it. I hope it gets a little more interesting, but it feels very episode of the week. And I guess that's what classic Captain Planet was. So we open up this issue in the Gulf of Mexico where we have Commander Bleak, and he's being summoned by Plunder to go to New York and deal with the atrocity that is Captain Planet. So then we return to where we left off in the last issue. Captain Planet's going to have to fight the forces of evil. This is where we get most of his dialogue for the first time. I do think it's interesting because he's a little more aggressive than what you'd imagine. Like, I guess because he's been doing this for so long, he's world weary and a little defeated. He's kind of like just hoping the kids would like get out of the way instead of being confused about what's going to happen. We then see like a bystander is trapped under a like falling ladder and patio or whatever it is. And Mati is the one that goes in to save the kid. And right before it like collapses on top of them, Captain Planet shows up. He's like, that was a really brave thing you did there, but how'd you know I was going to make it in time? He's like, I didn't know you were going to make it in time. It's just, you know, someone had to save this kid's life. So that's cool. I like that. Mati's probably like, him and Kwame are probably like my two favorite, I think. So then Bleak releases some gas and Captain Planet makes a tornado and sends it away. But they have to evade the scene, so they go into the sewers. And Captain Planet's like, this sucks. I don't want to be in the sewer right now. But the further along they get on that journey, the more he starts to be like drained of his power. This is where he reveals what's happening to him. The world's atmosphere is so polluted now, I can't hold my form for too long. Which, I mean, can't you just make that the theme of the whole book? That's would be interesting. But he gets a little bit of a history lesson out before he vanishes, saying you guys were chosen as the planeteers to protect Gaia. She's in trouble. We've watched the world exist for millions of years. Things happen all the time. And you can't hold back the inevitable as long as I could, but, you know, history happens. And I guess the dinosaurs went extinct because he couldn't save them. I'm like, okay, that's kind of cool. And when Captain Planet vanishes, the power returns to their rings. And he tells Kwame that he's got to be in charge. And some of them don't like that. I guess I should just say the white guy doesn't like that. So they get on a train or a subway, whatever it is. I guess it's New York, so it'd be a subway. And there's like, we got to get out of here, figure out what to do. How are we going to evade everything? Kwame asked Mati about like why he didn't like fight off any of the people. And he said, you know, he's sworn he's never going to raise a fist in anger again because of the things he did to like the mining companies that he took revenge on in his homeland. And I'm like, that's kind of cool. Anyways, Wheeler's gonna hit on the blonde because that's what you do when you're the douchebag white guy. And G is gonna do most of the work because she finds a doctor named Dr. Barbara Bright. She is a climatologist that's just outside the city, and maybe we can use like her observatory and the stuff she has access to track down where Gaia is being held. So they just walk into the observatory. Again, it's this classic 80s cartoon, so not against it. They're like, hey, we're students. We want to like study climates and stuff. We're a huge fan of your work. We'd like to learn more about like the groundbreaking technology you're building and the way you're doing stuff. And she's got like an algorithm on her computer that helps sort out the data throughout the entire regions. And they just want to like calculate everything going on, blah, 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 get some extra credit. I mean, Wheeler doesn't look like a kid, so I don't know. I think it's like different ages, right? Because that he looks like a full-grown man, and like Mati, Kwame, and I think G in particular look younger. I don't know. It's very interesting. But she's like, I mean, I guess if you were a student, like, sure, just allow me to retrieve some files from my office and we'll figure that out. And it turns out that Dr. Barbara Blight is actually working for Plunder. So she calls him and people attack again. Here's the return of Bleak. Get into a fight, using their rings as best they can to hold them off. Nothing's looking good. Mati kind of goes like full power and like defends his people. It's pretty cool. And then you just see Wheeler gets a good punch in on Bleak before he like kills Mati, and you're like, that's kind of sick. Anyways, it ain't looking good. They like try to freeze out Bleak before nothing happens to him. They like evade the observatory, leaving it on fire, which is like kind of cool. And as everyone was doing the big fight, G was like, well, I captured some information on a hard drive from Blight, so I guess we can use this to figure out her location. That's kind of cool. Everyone's like proud of themselves for the stuff they did. But Wheeler's not. He's kind of pissed off, and everyone's like, what's on your mind, Wheeler? And he's like, no, this was stupid. Like, we almost died. There's like a radioactive guy in there, and there's some robots we're dealing with, and I don't want to be a part of that. I'm just like a normal guy. I'm an auto worker. Weren't you a firefighter? Right? You were a firefighter in the first issue. Why are you saying auto worker? Like mechanic? I don't know. Doesn't matter. Nonetheless, Wheeler's like, I'm out of here. You guys are on your own. We're never summoning Captain Planet again. So a couple hours later, he's like drinking on the side of a building. And he's like, you did the right thing. You're hanging out with those people. They're going to get hurt. You don't want to be a part of that. And then like a mysterious figure shows up behind him. You're one of those people that saved in the factory fire in Detroit. He's like, what? Yeah. What do you care? And he's like, yeah, my name's Lucian Plunder. I'd like to offer you a deal. Give me the ring, boy. Okay. Sure. Why not? I don't know. It's working fine. I guess if you're a fan of these characters, this is as close to a modern retelling as you're going to get. But if you are a fan, do you need the origin again? Or do you just want something a little more different? Is this, and I say this all the time with these types of books, is this getting in new readers or just people that like these characters? Like, I don't know this world well. And I wouldn't say it's keeping me interested. But, you know, it's simple enough. It looks pretty good. Some confusing elements I don't like, but the action's solid, and I guess it's working for the most part. So is Wheeler going to give his ring over to Lucian Plunder? Probably not, because that's a bad guy name. So, Captain Planet and the Planeteers, issue number 3. I am going to give a 7 out of 10. Now, thank you all for watching this review. Be sure to like and subscribe to the channel. And, of course, you can catch me in the next one. Have fun. Stay safe. Good luck.